Asalamualaikum guys, welcome back to my channel. I pray that you are all in the best of health and iman. So literally the weekend before Ramadan, we are going to be cleaning our home. I have a few random places to clean here and there, so I hope you guys enjoy the video. To begin with, I'm going to listen to a lecture. You know how it goes, you know, we kill two birds with one stone. I'll link this lecture in the description box down below for you guys. So I'm starting off with dealing with my sofa area. I've had those cushions on there. You guys saw my autumn home decor and it pretty much stayed the same until the winter term. So I'm going to remove all of that and then get all of those cushion covers into the wash. I'm also going to remove my sofa cover and get that into the wash as well, because it's been a while, and alhamdulillah for the fact that I can actually remove the sofa covers and wash them, because if you have lighter sofas, it's inevitable, it's going to get dirty at some point, so you need to wash them every now and again. So that's just what I'm doing. I'm going to get my throw as well and put that away, and now I'm finally dealing with the sofa area. If you guys are finding it difficult to get your sofa covers out of the cushion, I recommend you fold the seat into like halves, like you guys can see me doing there, and then it makes it so much more easier to remove the cover. Once I found that trick, it was a lot easier. Before then I was struggling in so many different ways. And that little cloth that you guys see inside the sofa there is just to kind of pop up the middle part of the sofa a little bit, because I always sit on a specific spot, and so the cushion starts to bend in that spot, in that area. So a nice trick is just to fold up a piece of material and put it under there, and then it makes it all nice and even again. As you guys can see, the bottom of the sofa is filthy. Don't know how it gets this way, I don't know, but I found £1 and that made me really happy. I was like, oh my god, I'm rich. How did £1 get here? Alhamdulillah. Anyways, I'm going to go in with the vacuum cleaner and just vacuum all of the bits and pieces, all the gross part off of the sofa, and then move on. Okay, now that that is all nice and done, I'm going to put the cushions back onto the sofa just for now, whilst I gather up the pieces that I'm going to put in the wash. But before I put all the bits and pieces into the wash, I'm going to remove my curtains. These curtains haven't been washed in a while. That's the lighter curtain that is beneath the main curtain. So I'm gonna get that off and make sure I give it a good wash. It's been there since probably, when was the last time I gave this a wash? Maybe about 6 months ago. So yeah, it was pretty dirty. So yeah, getting that into the wash. Once I have placed that down, I'm going to come back in and just get rid of the winter autumn decor that I had going on. I just want to clear space so that I can just give the place a really good clean and a fresh start. So I'm removing all my candles and the empty reed diffuser that was just sitting there and things like that, and I'm just going to change things up a little bit. I am waiting for us to come out of lockdown so that I can go to the stores and buy the bits and pieces that I want for spring and summer. Okay, I've gotten rid of that, and now I have some liquid dish soap and warm water and a microfiber cloth, and this is going to take me a long way into cleaning the dusty areas of my house. And yes, I'm talking behind the TV. Do you guys see that dust? Oh my god, on top of my display cabinets and everything. Like, I don't know how, but this place just gathered up so much dust. I was a bit disgusted as I cleaned the living room space. My god. So yeah, just removing all of the bits and pieces, and then I'm going to get cleaning. I am going to start with a duster, even though I feel like it just spreads dust everywhere, but I can't reach the back of the TV, so I have no choice. So I'm going to start off with that and just get as much dust as I can falling down, so then I can wipe with the damp cloth and get it all removed. So yeah, it's really nice to do that every now and again. And then I'm going to begin just getting the whole entire place nice and wiped down. I prefer doing this using just dish soap and water instead of just spraying all over the place, because I don't know, I just feel like it's unnecessary. So I do still use my Nafisa spray every now and again for other stuff, especially in the kitchen and other areas around the house. But I don't know, I'm going back old school, guys, like granny old school. Just using dish soap and warm water and microfiber cloth, and off I go. So now we're going to deal with the baseboards behind the window, and as I can see there is some mold developing, so I'm going to spray it with some mold killer spray and give it a good wipe. I know I seem quite light-handed here, but I then turned off the camera and I went in just to get as clean as I possibly can, and then I continued wiping all the areas of the window. I even went outside of my house and wiped down the outside areas of my windows, because as you guys know, throughout the winter months you get, you know, bits and pieces of like dusty parts and spider webs and so on and so forth developing around your window. So I did go outside and give that a good deep clean. Alright, now we're going to deal with the kitchen, and the worst part of my kitchen is always the sink, because London has hard water that is not very nice at all. That's one of the reasons why I don't drink tap water. So I'm going to spray it with a descaler. I highly recommend the descaler. I'll link it in the description box down below. And then I'm going to wet my Scrub Daddy and use that to give this sink a really good clean. The ideal thing to do is to leave it for a while. So after spraying the descaler, you leave it for about 10 to 15 minutes, and after that then you can go in with a little sponge that doesn't scratch the surface area of your sink, and then give everywhere a nice clean, and your sink will be sparkling afterwards, guys. Trust me, I really love that HG descaler. Okay, next I'm going to gather up all my bits and pieces of marble accessories that I have in the house, and I'm going to give them a good deep clean with that HG natural stone cleaner. We all know that marble is a very delicate stone, and if you don't clean it with the special cleaner or make sure that you seal it the way it should be sealed, you will ruin your piece of marble very, very quickly. So I've removed my little tea area that I had going on here, and I'm just going to give that section a good wipe. And likewise, I've also done the same with the other pieces of marble, but now I'm going to go in with this marble wax, and what this is going to do is to help me seal the marble so that it doesn't get stains. So this creates like a very thin layer of coating over the marble, so if you spill any type of foods and stews and drinks or whatever, it won't get absorbed into the marble, so it protects the marble. So just doing that with the base that I have on my dining table, as well as my kitchen towel holder as well. I'm going to move on to doing the same thing with my marble side tables that I have in between my accent chairs. So it's just a case of spreading the wax onto the table and then using a paper cloth to kind of really push it in and wipe it all over into the marble. And yeah, that's pretty much it. It's worked really well for me. I've had guests like pour all sorts on this table and it hasn't ruined it at all, so I'm very happy with that. Next, I'm going to deal with the dustiness that is behind my desktop. So yeah, it's pretty self-explanatory, everything that I do henceforth from here. So I'm just going to put on some nasheeds for you guys to listen to. I'm still looking for like natural sounds without music that I can use in my videos, and the struggle is real, guys. Some of you guys recommended some on other people's YouTube channels and stuff, but I can't take that from other people's YouTube videos. So if you guys know of where I can get non-musical background sounds, please do let me know. Your girl needs it, okay?
And for this I'm so thankful. I wanna say thank you for my mom. She was my angel. You taught me love. You taught me patience. I learned from my pains. You're so amazing. I've gained and I've lost. Your love is a loss. When I look what I got, I look what you gave me, and for that I say thank you. Next, thank you. Next, I say thank you. Next, for what you gave me, I'm so grateful. Yes, thank you. Next, thank you. Next, I say thank you. Next, for what you gave me, spend my time with my friends. I ain't worried about nothing. You alone, no one else. All your past life for passion. Oh yeah. Every day when I sin, Lord, you wash it away. You showed me your mercy. Forgive my past. You taught me love. You taught me patience. I learned from my pains. You're so amazing. I've gained and I've lost. Your love is all I see when I look what I found. No need for searching, and for that I say thank you. Next, thank you. Next, I say thank you. Next, for what you gave me, I'm so grateful. Yes, thank you. Next, thank you. Next, I say thank you. Next, for what you gave me, I'm so grateful. Yes, thank you. Yes, thank you. Yes, thank you. Yes, for what you gave me, I'm so grateful. Yes, got so much love, got so much patience, I learned from my pain. It turned out amazing. I've gained and I've lost. Your love is all I see when I look what I found. No need for searching, and for that I say thank you. Next, thank you. Next, I say thank you. Next, for what you gave me, I'm so grateful. Yes, thank you. Next, thank you. Next, I say thank you. Next, for what you gave me, I'm so grateful. Yes, thank you. Yes, thank you. Yes, thank you. Yes, yeah. Oh, thank you. Yes, thank you. Yes, thank you. Yes, yeah.
So now I'm going to wash the very dirty part of that curtain by using the stain remover. I'm going to soak the curtain for about 30 minutes and then hand wash this part, and then throw the entire curtain into the washing machine with everything else. One area that most of us tend to neglect to clean is the item that usually cleans everything else, and for me that is the washing machine. So I noticed some mold kind of starting to grow in parts of the washing machine, so I had to get that cleaned, and I'm starting out by spraying the inside part of where the soap dispenser usually goes into. I'm going to give that a good wipe, and it's a good thing I recorded this because there's still that yellow bit all the way on the inside that I could have reached but I didn't. So inshallah in my next deep clean I'll make sure to get those areas. But it's very important to, you know, take care of your washing machines and your dryers and things like that, because we all know these machines are not cheap. So if you invest in a good one that you really love and that works well for you, then the best you can do is to prolong the life by keeping it as clean as possible to prevent it just looking disgusting, you know. So I just went in with microfiber cloth and a little bit of dish soap, lukewarm water, and removed all the moldy bits inside, and yeah, gave it a good clean. So I'm not really sure what this part is. I don't know if it's like for venting or whatever, because this is not only a washing machine but it's also a dryer. So once it's done washing clothes, you switch it onto the drying sets, and then it dries your clothes for you. So I'm not sure what it does, but it was dirty, so I decided to give it a good clean as well, and yeah, looks so much more better now. Okay, now we're dealing with the inside part of the washing machine, and look guys, this is what tends to happen after the machine is done drying clothes. So I just think it just leaves a residue out there, and I haven't cleaned this part out for a while, so I'm going to get to doing that. The first thing that I'm going to do is just to vacuum the inside. Just get in there, give it a good vacuum, suck up all of those lints and whatnot, bits and pieces that come out. If you don't have a washer slash dryer, this will probably happen in your drying machine, so just be on the lookout for that. And then afterwards I'm going to spray it with the method cleaner and just wipe everywhere, because another thing that tends to happen in your washing machine is mold tends to develop in areas that you don't tend to see easily. So just get into, like, you know, the crevices of your machine and just give it a good wipe, and you'll be surprised the nastiness that comes out of there. Now we are in my bathroom, and the only two issues that I tend to have with my bathroom is the development of, yep, you guessed it, limescale, and also the development of mold. So as long as I keep those two under control, I'm fine. Now, in this particular moment, the biggest issues were the taps. The taps just looked, yeah, you decide. But in terms of mold, I really don't have a lot of mold in my home. I do my best to keep my bathroom pretty clean, but there are just bits and pieces here and there that have some mold that I want to also deal with. So we're going to start off with the taps. As you guys can see, it is pretty gross, especially the bottom parts. So, and also the rims of where the water goes down, that's not dirt, that's all limescale. I know it's that bad with the water in London, trust me. So I'm just going to start dealing with that. In order to do that, I'm going to use the same spray as I did in my kitchen, which is the Scale Away spray, the HG one, and I'm just going to be very, very generous with this. I am looking to get as much of this limescale off of my sink as possible, so I give it a really good spray. And then to get the tip of the tap where the water comes out of, I use this method of just spraying it into a small plastic bag and then tying it onto the edges. And yeah, I'm wiping my fingers because I had a cut, and since I don't like wearing gloves to clean, it entered the cut and it burned real bad. Anyways, this is what I do, and I just make sure I get everywhere, and I leave it for a good, sometimes 45 minutes, guys. Whilst I leave that to just do its thing, I'm going to wash the vase I have in the bathtub. I use that vase for like decor in the living room area, and I just needed to give it a clean before I put it away. So that's just what I'm doing right there very quickly. And now I'm going to tackle the mold by just spraying some mold spray on there, and then removing all of the bits and pieces around the bathtub, and just going in with more of that mold spray just to kill the mold first. And then to get rid of the mold, what I highly recommend is bleach. I'm sorry, I haven't found anything else that does a better job than bleach. If you just apply bleach to the area where there is mold, just make sure you have your ventilators opened or your windows open in your bathroom if you have windows, and then just leave the bleach there for a couple of hours. Trust me, you will come back and you will be shocked because most of it will be gone. I didn't have bleach on this day, or so I thought, so I just used the same cleaner that I use for my toilets, and I just spreaded it all over the areas where I thought that I had a little bit of mold growing. And then I just left it for about 2 hours. I actually ended up going out on this day, and then I came back later on in the evening and then washed the tub off. Okay, alhamdulillah, at this point everything is starting to just finish up. I'm just putting the curtains back up again. They are nice and clean, they've been dried, and oh, what a difference this is, guys. doesn't this just looks amazing. Like, this is so satisfying to me to see how clean it is compared to before. Alhamdulillah. And then I'm gonna go ahead and put things back in my kitchen, as well as just move things around a little bit here and there to just create a new fresher look for me for the month of Ramadan. I'm also doing the same thing to the living room, putting the curtains back. They've been washed, cleaned, dried. I also steamed them because I hate crusty looking curtains. Okay, so in an ideal COVID-free world, this would be the part where I decorate my house really nicely for the spring summer. But seeing as I don't have any spring or summer decor, seeing as I wanted to do some last year and we were still in lockdown, I'm just going to use whatever I have. So I'm using For the Love of White book. You guys can pick that up from Amazon, and my lantern. I'm going to place a candle in there. I wasn't sure what like color scheme to go for. I thought of pink, then I was like, I have blue accent chairs, so I need to bring that in somehow. And then I changed my mind later on. But you know how decor goes. You never fully make up your mind. You change things over and over and over like a billion hundred times before you finally happy with what you have. But I'm also using this reed diffuser, and I'm actually showing you guys this because someone asked me in one of my last videos where I get my reed diffusers from. I get them from pretty much anywhere, but the good ones you can pick up that will actually scent up the house quite nice, well, the room nicely. I think Marks and Spencer's if you're in the UK, and also Sainsbury's. I think Waitrose also do a nice one, but this particular linen one is from Tesco. The trick with them is to flip the reeds every now and again. Ideally, maybe about twice a week, flip the reeds over and you'll be able to scent it, smell it again. But bear in mind also that your nose gets used to a scent after a while. So if you're not smelling it anymore, doesn't mean other people aren't. So yeah. Last few things to do that I had completely forgotten was to wash all of my prayer mats. Guys, the worst thing you want to do is have guests over during Ramadan or something and then have them praying in crusty looking prayer mats. So please make sure you wash your prayer mats. I put mine in the delicate wash, and I brought out this really pretty one to use for the spring and summer, and of course during Ramadan as well. So gather your prayer mats, put them in the wash, guys. Okay, next, most important guys, I'm actually going to be sharing with you guys how I make my little ruqya water that I spray all over the house for protection. And it's as simple as just getting some water. If you have a little bit of Zamzam water, add a little bit in there as well, and then you recite Quran over it. You recite Surah Al-Ikhlas, Surah Al-Falaq and Surah Al-Nas 3 times, and also Surah Al-Baqarah. And if you can read Surah Al-Baqarah, if you can't, just read Ayatul Kursi and the last part of Surah Al-Baqarah, and you have yourself a really lovely ruqya water that you can spray into the corners of your house. I used to just use my hands to sprinkle this, and one of you guys gave me the idea to use a spray bottle, and I love it. Thank you guys so much. That works so much more better for me. Just make sure you label the bottle, or you remove any labels from there so other people don't think it's something else that it's actually not. So yeah, just bear that in mind. And then to have the whole place smelling absolutely beautiful, you can, you know, maybe burn some buhur around your home. For me, I prefer natural scents, so I like to do essential oils and just diffuse essential oils. So for this particular day, I was using the lemon one, and it just smelled so good. So I have that going on, and yeah guys, I am done. My home is clean and I am fully prepped for Ramadan. So guys, I hope this inspires you to get your house nice and clean, prepped and ready for Ramadan. I hope you guys enjoy Ramadan, and Insha'Allah ta'ala, I will see you guys on the first day of Ramadan. Asalamualaikum.